Have you ever noticed a strange change inside yourself? Not fear of being caught, fear of being known. And there's a difference. Being caught concerns consequences, viewers. The person who once feared wrongdoing now begins fearing discovery. Something has shifted. The original temptation no longer feels like the central problem. The secret has matured. It has settled into daily life. It has established routines, explanations, contingencies, and defensive responses. And what began as a private compromise has become a private system unto itself. At first, the mind protected the behaviour. Now the behaviour is influencing the mind. Questions begin sounding different. Ordinary conversations feel heavier. Simple observations seem loaded with hidden meaning. And the person starts listening for things that were never said, searching for accusations that were never made, detecting threats that may not exist. And this is the burden of concealed corruption. The conscience continues producing signals, but because the person refuses to confront the source, the warning energy spreads throughout the entire psychological system. Suspicion begins replacing peace. Hypervigilance begins replacing rest. And the person becomes increasingly occupied with what others might know, what they might suspect, what they might have seen, and what they might eventually discover. And inside, the internal voices become more active. One voice says everything is fine. Another voice says the situation is becoming dangerous. Another argues for the greater caution. Another insists the behaviour should continue. The conflict never fully stops. It simply changes shape. And because the contradiction remains unresolved, the personality starts dividing its loyalties. One loyalty remains attached to the truth. Another remains attached to appetite. One seeks freedom, the other seeks protection. The other wants concealment. And the longer the tension remains, the more exhausting life becomes. Not because the person's carrying the secret, but because the secret's slowly carrying the person. And their decisions increasingly revolve around preservation. Relationship becomes strategic. Words become calculated. Reactions become rehearsed. Spontaneity disappears. Authenticity weakens. And the person starts living from a defensive position rather than an honest one. And that's why moral bankruptcy rarely appears dramatic in the beginning. It arrives disguised as management, adjustment, accommodation, protection. But beneath the surface, something far darker is occurring. The corruption's no longer hiding inside the person. The person's beginning to live inside the corruption. And once a person starts looking over their shoulder, the prison has already begun forming around them.